It's time to spend some time with our friends from NuMark Credit Union. Today we're going to be talking about scams and fraud prevention. And we'd like to remind you that we are going to be giving away a $25 Visa gift card at the end of the program. Compliments of NuMark Credit Union. How do you win? Well, you stay with us for the next several minutes, and something that our guests will talk about today will be brought back up. I'll ask you a question to repeat some of the valuable information they have for us. And when it comes to scams and fraud protection, you know this information will be extremely valuable. I'm going to ask you to repeat that information if you're the first caller on the Turk Furniture Studio line at 815-254-7300. If you are, and you answer the question correctly, you'll get that $25 Visa gift card, compliments of NuMark Credit Union. We also want you to know that it is the new year. What's next on your list? Are you thinking of a new vehicle in your garage or driveway? Are education payments coming? Ready to move into a new home? If you're thinking about it, NuMark has an expert for it. They can help you do more with your money. Get started today by visiting NuMark's website at newmarkcu.org. That's NUMARKCU.org. NuMark Credit Union, where you are family. Jessica Mellen joins us this morning on WJIL Radio. She is with NuMark Credit Union. She is the Chief Operations Officer. Good morning, Jessica.
Good morning, Scott. How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you? Everything going well for you?
Yeah, excellent.
Good. Good New Year's? Big parties or just kind of a chill couple of days off?
It was very chill, which was fantastic.
Yeah, we all need a little chill. Yeah, too much of our
Absolutely.
lives are not chill, so why do something chill on or not chill on purpose, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, good to have you on board. We appreciate that. And Lucy Castello is here as well. She's the Vice President of Operations for NuMark. Hi, Lucy.
Hi, Scott. How are you today?
I'm fine. I hope you're doing well. Good New Year's. And did you chill or did you go out and have a little fun?
Definitely chill.
Okay. So those pictures I saw on Facebook weren't really yours.
No, definitely not.
That's a good thing because we might not be talking to you today. I'm joking, of course. All right, so Jessica and Lucy are here today to talk about scams and fraud protection. Before we get into detail on our topic of the day, Jessica, as far as you're concerned, kind of give us an update. How are things going at the credit union here to start of 2022?
Things are going great. We have a really exciting year ahead of us. As a reminder, in 2021, we had a merger with another local credit union, and now we have 9 branch locations and an administrative office to serve our members. So we're really excited about that opportunity for our members and excited about what we have to come.
That's awesome. That is, yeah, it was a big year. It's not all that often you grow like that, especially as fast as you did. Yeah. Good stuff. Lucy, what about you? Tell us a little bit about yourself. I don't know if we've had you on the program before.
No, actually, I have been with NuMark now for almost a year. I came in with that merger that Jessica just talked about. But overall, I've been in the credit union industry for over 22 years, and, it's been wonderful. There's nothing like a credit union.
Yeah, it's what we're starting to, get. I'm a customer. Well, I'm not a customer. I guess I'm a member officially. I'm a member, and I do find out that things do work really, really well at NuMark. So I'm glad we're able to talk to you guys here today. So, Lucy, I'll go ahead and start with you when we get into fraud. I did something really stupid sitting on an airplane. I'll get to that if we have time later on. The other night, what is, in your eyes, or what's one of the most important things a person can do to protect themselves from financial fraud?
Well, Scott, I'm actually going to share a couple of very important things. The first and foremost is to make sure you protect your usernames, passwords, and one-time passcodes. The only person who should know that information is you. You wouldn't hand your wallet with cash, cards, and your identification over to a stranger, to your new employer, or to a friend of a friend. So you're going to treat those usernames, passwords, and one-time passcodes the same as you would your wallet. So speaking of one-time passcodes, those are passcodes that are used after you've entered your username and your password to validate your device. Whenever possible, you want to use your cell phone to receive a text message or an authentication tool like Google Authenticator if it's available, rather than your email. If your email is ever compromised, fraudsters are going to have access to everything they need to take over your account. Another thing to always remember is if you're in a situation where another person creates a sense of urgency or pressure for you to make a financial decision, you're always going to want to remember to stop, think, and verify.
Mhm.
Don't just jump on something. And finally, if you receive something for nothing, for example, a check in the mail that you weren't expecting or didn't really do anything to earn, deposit to your account that's then they're requesting for you to send money orders or gift cards back to a person, those are likely scams. Remember, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. There could be consequences to testing that out.
Oh, boy. All right. I'll go ahead and tell my story. Do you mind?
Go right ahead.
Why didn't we talk about this last week? So I took the family to New York City, sitting on the airplane last Tuesday. I'm almost embarrassed to admit this because I never do this. Never do this. So anyway, Verizon, my cell phone company, sends me a message and says, hey, you know what? Because you're a good customer, we're going to give you a free fitness watch. Well, guess what, Lucy? There was no free fitness watch. And my son sitting next to me said, Dad, what are you doing? I go, hey, man, check it out. I'm going to use this watch. He goes, no, you're not. He saw me doing what I was doing. He quickly Googled, is Verizon giving away free watches? And Verizon said, no, this is a scam. So I usually will, when something like that happens and I shop online or whatever, I usually go, I don't do a debit card just because. I just don't. I mean, that's my money, and I want to, you guys tell me if I'm wrong with doing this or not. But long story short, it wouldn't take my credit card. Now I know why, because they wanted a debit card. And I gave them my debit card, but 30 seconds later I canceled it, and I'm fine and dandy. But Lucy, that was just a boneheaded play on my part. I went against everything you just said.
Yeah, you did. But you know what? It's a good thing that your son was there. He recognized it right away, and he reminded you, you don't get anything for free.
No, you don't. So is that the best way to go, Jessica? If you are going to shop online, should we use hardcore credit cards?
It's nice to use your credit card, absolutely, because then it's not accessing the money that you live off of day to day, right? While you obviously can file a dispute if there's fraudulent activity on your debit card, you don't want your primary checking account to be inconvenienced. It's a great idea to use a credit card for online purchases.
Okay, that's what I thought, and that's what I tried to do, but obviously I did not do that. Okay, Jessica, now let's stay with you. Tell us about some work from home schemes that are out there.
Oh my goodness. So the fraudsters are preying on the current trend of people wanting to find remote work or work from home jobs. So what happens is the fraudsters often post jobs through social media, even through well-renowned job search websites, so those big names that you're used to. They'll post these jobs out there, and then they'll go so far as to have an interview with prospective candidates. Sometimes they'll even have the new employee, the victim of the fraud, complete actual job tasks before they defraud them. So some examples include sometimes they'll send these new employees out to check inventory at local drugstores or big box stores and report that back. Or they'll have them complete secret shopper tasks or drive around at night and report any lighted signs that are burnt out, right? It could literally be anything. Oh, placing internet ads, that's a really common one. But it could be anything. But the actual work that's done is a complete ruse. They're just trying to help that person feel like this is a legitimate job. And so what the fraudster will tell them is that they can't get the direct deposit for their paycheck started fast enough, but if the victim can give them the username and password to their mobile banking account, then the fraudster can just deposit the check. They'll just take a picture of it and deposit it into the account, no problem. So, of course, the fraudster convinces the victim to give that information up and then has the victim give that one-time passcode to confirm the account. And now the fraudster has everything they need to drain the account. Now, there's a couple versions of this scam. One is that the fraudster will just simply transfer the money out of the account using bill pay or, P2P kind of transfers. But if there's not a balance in the account, or if the fraudster has another method in mind for this, sometimes what they'll do is ask the the recipient of the funds to send part of the money back to them. And that's sort of our more common scenario is fraudster will deposit a check larger than what that paycheck could have been, and they'll say, it's a test transaction, and they'll have the victim send the money back to them using like a national wire service or gift cards, money orders. And what happens is the deposit posts to the victim's account. The victim then wires the money out, and then the check that was deposited returned as fraudulent. So now the victim is out that money, and these typically run around $1,900 to about $2,500 per incident. So it's significant. It's really significant. And so the best thing you can do is protect yourself. Do some research. If you're taking an online job, does this company really exist? Do you have a website? Can you verify them on the Secretary of State's website? And then next, just knowing that no employer ever needs to know your username, your password, and one-time passcode for your bank account. Absolutely not, under no circumstances does your employer need that information. Of course, if you're setting up a legitimate direct deposit, they'll need your routing number and account number to do that, but never, never do they need your username, password, and one-time passcode. The only reason someone other than you needs that information is to defraud you.
So many bad people out there, right?
Oh, yeah, if they'd only use their brains for good, right?
That's true. We're talking today with Jessica Mellen. She's the Chief Operations Officer with NuMark Credit Union, and Lucy Castello, the Vice President of Operations here on Money Talks, brought to you by NuMark Credit Union. Okay, so it's the first of the year, and people are done with the holidays. They maybe have some New Year's resolutions. Maybe they want to lose some weight. Maybe they want to get their financial house in order. But Lucy, maybe they also want to meet someone special, if you know what I mean. What about romance schemes? Are you telling me these still exist?
Definitely. It happens more often than you would believe. Perpetrators are professionals. They know exactly how to manipulate the emotions of others to perpetrate large-scale fraud. The challenge is that many of those victims that have fallen to the scam don't believe they're a victim until it's too late to recover the funds. $304 million were reported lost due to this type of scheme back in 2020, which is about 3 times more than it was in 2019. I haven't seen the 2021 numbers yet, but this type of fraud is likely to have been fueled by the pandemic. So let's start about talking about how we protect ourselves. So if you date online or make new friends online that you've never met in person, no matter how real those feelings are, promise yourself that you'll never send money of any amount, not even $5, until you've met that person actually in person and establish a relationship of trust in the real world. So you're never going to give your online banking credentials or one-time passcodes to this person. In fact, make it part of the deal with that person. If they aren't a fraudster, they aren't going to mind having a conversation where you're setting boundaries as to what you will and won't do. So these criminals are actively searching for people to establish a relationship with. They're working numerous relationships at the same time, and there are entire call center types of establishments where everyone is working relationships with the intent to defraud. It should be noted that beyond just bad people making a buck, this is a multi-million-dollar scheme used to help fund terrorism as well.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scary.
That just kind of piqued my curiosity right there. All right. Jessica, let's move on now from romance schemes to fraud against elders. I do segments on my show talking about, people knocking on homes. We heard water is bad in the area. We need to come and test your water, and people get stolen. So that's elder fraud, but there's all kinds of online elder fraud, obviously, as well.
Yes, there is so much fraud against elders. It's really sad, but one type of fraud that it's not new, but it still persists is this grandchild in trouble scheme.
Yes.
This is definitely playing off the emotions of a grandparent wanting to protect their grandchildren. So what happens is, and understand this is a numbers game, right? They'll call thousands of people, and once they get one hit, they make so much money off of each incident that they don't mind calling 1,000 people till they get one person on the hook. So what happens is the fraudster will call a person who's likely a grandparent, and they'll sound like they're crying. So they're muffling their voice. They'll sound very upset, and they'll typically say something like, "Grandma, I'm in trouble. I can't go to mom for help. Can you help me?" And because the individual's crying and the elderly person can't hear their voice very well, and the elderly person typically will say the name of their grandchild. So they'll say, "Jessica, is that you?"
Yeah.
And then the fraudster has the name, and they'll say, "Yeah, Grandma, this is Jessica. I've caused a terrible accident. I've been arrested. I'm in jail. They need $10,000 for bail. Please don't tell mom. Can you wire that money right away to the police department?" It's not always that reason, right? There's lots. Sometimes they'll say that, they were participating in some sort of illegal activity and now they've gotten in trouble, or they owe somebody money and they're going to hurt them if they don't pay them right away. There's all sorts of urgent reasons, but what happens is it scares the grandparent, and the grandparent wants to protect the grandchild, and so they go and wire the
Yep.
money to whatever wire instructions that fraudster just gave. Once a wire is gone, it's gone. There is no getting that money back. And sometimes these are, tens of thousands of dollars. So what we say is the best way for you to protect yourself is anytime that there's urgency to move money, we want you to stop, think, and verify. Would the grandchild really call grandma for help? Is this in character for the grandchild? How about this? Just call the grandchild at the number that you know to be correct, right?
Yeah.
What's the phone number you have for the grandchild on your own phone? Call them, right? Call mom, call the police department where the grandchild says they're held, right? There's lots of ways to verify that information, but the biggest thing you can do is break that emotional connection to do something and then verify. There's nothing financial that can't wait for an hour of research.
Yeah. And I guess this isn't just, I don't know, Lucy, elders. This could happen to anyone, right? Could happen to an uncle, an aunt. And this is something that is probably has many different fingers, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. It can happen to anyone. In fact, college-age students are prime targets right now. Sometimes somebody posing as a friend, an uncle, cousin of a friend, will ask a young adult through social media to do them a favor. So typically they want them to either cash a check for them, and they'll give a compelling reason why they can't do it themselves. They'll get the victim to deposit the check in the ATM, or they'll convince them to share their online banking credentials. And that friend, uncle, whomever they're posing to be, will then deposit that check via mobile deposit. Then they'll ask the victim to send money in the form of money orders, gift cards, or through Western Union. They'll let them keep a little bit for themselves, typically about $300 to $500 for the trouble they're going through. Unfortunately, the victim sends the money, then the check eventually comes back as fraudulent, and the victim's left holding the bag. These scams are usually costing those victims anywhere between $1,800 to $2,900, sometimes even higher. So you got to remember, what's the rule? Protect your credentials like you would your wallet. If someone asks you to do them a favor and wants you to send them money, that's not really a favor you want to be part of.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Jessica and Lucy, you guys have been outstanding. Jessica, before we go, any other schemes we should be aware of? I'm sure we could spend, 5 hours talking about this, but anything else top of mind?
It is the season for IRS schemes. So fraudsters will call victims saying that they owe the IRS thousands of dollars and that they're going to go to jail if they don't pay right now. Again, this is creating a sense of urgency, right? It's meant to scare people. The best thing you can do is hang up the phone and call the IRS yourself at a phone number that you can verify online. Call them. They'll let you know whether you owe them money or not. Let's face it, most of us really know whether we owe the IRS money or not, and the IRS will never collect on the phone. They will always send a letter to collect on money owed.
Yeah, that's true. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, just watch those virus protection pop-ups, right? They pop up on your screen and say that your virus protection is outdated and you need to pay to update that. As soon as you click the link, now they've installed either ransomware on your computer or some other form of malware on your computer. You know the virus system that you use on your computer. Log into that directly rather than clicking on little pop-ups that pop up on your screen.
Okay, that's good to know too, because a lot of people just assume, oh, okay, this works. Yeah, that makes sense. They're trying to protect me. No, they're not. They're trying to steal from you. You guys have been awesome, so thorough, so in-depth. Jessica Mellen, Lucy Castello, ladies, thank you very much for your time this morning. We really appreciate it.
Thanks so much
for having us
Scott.
on.
All right, take care of yourself. That's Jessica Mellen, the Chief Operations Officer, and Lucy Castello, the Vice President of Operations with NuMark Credit Union. All right, here's what we're going to do right now. We're going to clear up my phone lines, and we're going to open them up. 815-254-7300. 815-254-7300. Ton of information there. I mean a ton. Where was I sitting when I was scammed last Tuesday? 815-254-7300. First correct caller is going to win a $25 Visa gift card. Where was I sitting last Tuesday when I was scammed? 815-254-7300. Hi, good morning. You're on WJLO Radio. Who's this?
Hi, this is Colleen.
Colleen, where are you calling from today?
Call from New Lenox.
Coming from New Lenox. All right. Colleen, where was I sitting?
You were on an airplane.
Come on. I'm way smarter than that. I don't profess to be a rocket scientist or an engineer or anything like that, but I'm way smarter than that. You're exactly right. I was sitting on a Southwest Airlines flight, and thank goodness our flight didn't take off for another 5 minutes because I was able to call and get everything, or at least that card, canceled right away, and I was in good shape. Whew.
Yike.
I know. Yike is right. All right, Colleen. Well, you have won. So what you need to do is you need to go to the NuMark Credit Union, which is right at the Six Corners. You know where the radio station is located? Yep, literally right across the street anytime. Show them your ID, and you got yourself a $25 Visa gift card. No worry, no hurry. You don't have to get over today. You can do it anytime in the future, okay?
Could we send that to Morningstar Mission, the gift card?
I think you probably could. I will let them know that you would like to do that, and that is very kind of you. Thank you very much.
Okay, have a great day.
Thank